Yes, guys, Ryjack back with another video. Today we are looking at Newcastle in the Carabao Cup semi-final. This does follow Arsenal's win again against Chelsea. They have advanced to the Carabao Cup final, which we probably expected. That's not very surprising. They won 1-0 at home today. Dreadful game to watch, to be honest. The football they play, disgusting. But hey, it gets them wins. Fair enough. I won't complain too hard on that. Anyway, we're here today to discuss City, the problems we've had, look at a lineup that may actually work for this game, talk about some rest. There's a lot to discuss. Anyway, before we do start, as always, if you're new, hit subscribe. I do appreciate subs. We're going for 1,000 on the channel. We're about 50 away. So any help towards that, we can get that by the end of the Premier League season. That would be awesome. Like the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll respond to every comment as I always do. So let's take a look immediately right now at the preview. It is Newcastle. City have a 2-0 up advantage aggregate. However, as we know, a 2-0 lead is not all that safe at the moment with City. We did go into halftime 2-0 up at Spurs, and we left the game with a 2-2 draw. A 2-2 draw, or us losing this 2-0 lead would result in penalties. I don't know if they're doing added time. I feel like it's straight to pen. Maybe there's added time. I don't know. They feel like they change the rule on that all the time. So it does give the last 11 that started. Again, this is not what's going to happen because Gehi is ineligible. He's not able to play. Semenyo is available to play. There's some injuries as well. Maybe Haaland will be rested. Cherki potentially injured based on the press conference today. You look at the injury list for both teams. City's is a bit longer, but Newcastle do have some big injuries as well. Joe Linton is out for the game. Livramento, City linked right back, again out. Probably not a transfer that we're going to see happen because of all the injuries he has suffered. Fabian Schär, decent center back option for them, will not be playing. Kraft as well out. There are also some rumors that Lewis Miley will miss the game, which is a big miss for Newcastle. He's been very good for them this year. As well as Bruno Guimaraes is also potentially missing this game, which obviously very, very big for Newcastle. City had their injuries as well. To speak of Cherokee, like I said, probably not participating. Maybe he's available, but certainly not starting, I don't believe. John Stones, who knows when he'll be back, if ever. Josko out for the season. Ruben Diaz potentially could be back for this game, but I would be pretty surprised if he did start this one. Kovacic, again, who knows when he's back? I would guess he's not back at all the rest of the season, and we never see him play again for City. Unfortunately, if you are a Mateo Kovacic fan, that's probably not happening. Doku still ruled out as well. Savinho also ruled out for this one. Form-wise, Newcastle are coming off a not great performance at Liverpool. 4-1. They got slapped around in that game. They did go 1-0 up and then kind of capitulated. So they did have a nice game midweek in the Champions League against PSG, a 1-1 that did actually really benefit City. That draw saw City get top 8, so we do want to say thank you to Newcastle for that one. City, we all know, not in the best of form at present. They did have back-to-back wins against Wolves and Galatasaray, which was nice, but seemed like paper over the cracks. 2-2, a shambolic draw to Spurs, where, like I said, we blew a 2-0 halftime lead and really threw away 3 points and potentially threw away the title race. However, this is a different competition. Premier League form does typically go out the window in the cup competitions. Anything can happen in this one. I think anyone who says this is a done deal, City advancing automatically already, is probably kidding themselves. We've not looked good enough, in my opinion, to say that a 2-0 lead is absolutely safe. I would be obviously extremely disappointed to blow a 2-0 lead going into a home leg of a semifinal in what is maybe our best opportunity to win a trophy this year. A trophy, again, will be awesome. I will not turn my nose up at any trophy. It is the least valuable of the 4 we're fighting for at present, but it's the one that's available now. And I want this Carabao Cup trophy facing Arsenal in the final as well. Maybe that gives us a psychological edge, something like that, where we can take that and push on further in the Premier League. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. I do want to look at a lineup here. It's honestly difficult. We've got a lot of injuries. There's a few options at various positions. Formation is also a question mark. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do. I kind of lean into this idea that we're going to run this 4-2-2 that we've somewhat been utilizing. It's a bit difficult to say exactly what it will be with Pep. You know, there's always a chance he overthinks something, and we're not sure exactly what's going to happen. But you have James Trafford definitely starting as the cup competition keeper. That is no doubt about it. Then I think most of the back line picks itself. Mateus Nunes will start. Husanov will start. Next to him, this is where you get to a questionable area. I'm not sure. Mark Gahey, like I said, not available for this one based on the rules. Left-sided center back could be Max Elaine, which I would probably prefer. And then you have Nathan Ake as a consideration as well. For me, I'm going to say it's Max Elaine, who has done a decent job. Not great, but decent when called upon. Left back, you could have Nathan Ake as well. Nico O'Reilly is an option. Ryan Aït-Nouri also an option. Who knows on Aït-Nouri? He took somewhat of a knock in the last game against Spurs. That big collision, which probably should have been a foul but wasn't called. I don't know if he's available or not. I think if he's available, he will start the game. Ryan Aït-Nouri starts at left back there. Base of the midfield, I think based on Rodri's recent performances, it's probably fair to say that he does not deserve a spot in this semifinal, which may sound harsh, but he's not been good in any sense of the word. Has he been good? No. He's been reckless. He was sent off in the Bodo Glimt game. He could have been sent off, probably should have been sent off against Spurs. I don't know how he didn't get a second yellow there as well. I bring in Nico G back in. I don't necessarily agree with that stat that's going around that when Rodri plays we're worse, but it is hard to ignore that once Nico G left the team, our bad run did start. So let's give Nico G a game. He hasn't started in a while. He's been injured as well, but I think I like that idea. Then you go to the other center mid that will be paired with him. I assume it's Bernardo Silva. You could potentially do a double pivot of Nico and Rodri. I know people have asked for that. I don't know that I see it. I think it makes a little bit more sense. Rodri, Bernardo. Maybe you go Nico O'Reilly there, but I personally think O'Reilly's not been very good for the last month and maybe could use a little break in this one. As well, he's an option to come off the bench if, Aït-Nouri's not playing well or if there's a need in the midfield. He's versatile, can do that. Then you get to these four positions that are the somewhat attacking positions. The fullbacks will consider themselves wingers in this formation that we've been operating in, so you might as well bring them up quite like that. I think it's difficult because Ryan Cherky would be great to start, but I'm operating under the impression he's probably not starting this one. I don't think Nico O'Reilly is the one you want to play in this advanced position. So really, that only leaves a couple of options, and it's probably going to be Phil and Tijani Reinders, which doesn't sound too inspiring. I know people are not happy with either of them at the moment, but they're both somewhat relative goal scorers. I know they've been poor for some time, but I don't know. I think it makes sense to play them both because you don't really have a whole lot of options. You could have Nico O'Reilly in there, but I think going with some players who could score some goals, in hindsight, in forethought, makes the most sense. I absolutely want Antoine Semenyo to start this one, and I imagine he will be out on the right side. Let's see if I can spell his name correctly. Semenyo starts at the right striker position in that area, but he can have free roam to kind of operate in that area. And then next to him, it's a big call, but I'm benching Erling Haaland. He's been extremely poor form recently, and in my opinion, has not earned the right to start this one. I would be going with Marmoush, try to change it up, see if that lights a fire somehow in Erling Haaland. Marmoush is fit, hasn't been playing very much, and surely can provide some energy, some effort that maybe is questionable from Haaland at present, which is sad to say, but it is the truth, unfortunately. And I think a lot of the times it will end up something like this, where it's a bit of a back three, and maybe this ends up being Foden out on this right-hand side, or Reinders can drop a bit deep. They can do that, and then something like this happens. There's a lot of flexibility, I think, in this system where we have somewhat been playing recently. But again, you never know with a Pep Guardiola side. Who knows what he's going to do? This is my best guess, and I do think it is good enough to get us to the final, get us to the Wembley Stadium once again, Etihad South, as they like to call it. We haven't won this competition in time. I would love to win this, especially against Arsenal. Would be fantastic to deny them another opportunity at a trophy. That would be beautiful. So in this game, I am predicting City hold. I go 1-1. It's a draw, but with our aggregate 2-0 advantage, that is enough to see us through. I don't want to see added time. I don't want to see penalties. Just get the job done. I don't care if it's scrappy. You got to do what you got to do. You have to make it to the final of this competition. It is an absolute must, in my opinion. Anyway, that's my preview for this Newcastle game, the semifinal of the Carabao Cup. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys post-game tomorrow, hopefully with City in the final. See ya.